Hello everyone, this is Satyaprakash. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is part 6 of Angular CLI. In this video, I'll discuss what is the project structure of Angular CLI. So before going through this part 6, please visit my part 5 of Angular CLI tutorial. That is Angular.json in Angular CLI or configuration file in Angular CLI. You can get in my playlist, that is Angular CLI tutorial. Okay, let's flip to my presentation here. So in this video we'll discuss the easiest way to create a working Angular project and the purpose of each file and folder in the Angular project after creating. So in this, the more details about this video is we'll discuss the Angular project structure. So I have split this into two videos. In this video we'll discuss all the files and folders in the Angular project except the source folder or SRC and its contents. So in our next video we'll discuss the SRC folder and its contents. So one of the easiest way to create a working Angular project is by using the Angular CLI. So there is one command called Angular CLI command to create a working Angular project. So the command is ng new and the project name I need to mention here like Satya Angular CLI. After then you just click enter, and what it does, it will create a working Angular project in your path. Alright, so I already have created. If you'll go to my this path here, C drive, you can get this folder for Angular project, that is Satya Angular CLI, and its related contents here, that is E2E node underscore modules SRC, and all the configuration files and either some JS files you can get here. So this is the best easiest way to create the Angular project. Alright, so what I'll do now, I'll show that the Angular project in Visual Studio Code. So for that, what I'll do, I just map to my local directory. So local directory is this one. I just map to this path using my command prompt. Alright, so it maps, and I just put one Angular CLI command code, just space and dot. So it will open this Angular project using Visual Studio Code. So let's wait for some time. So it will start opening our Angular project using Visual Studio Code. So it was open the Visual Code in Visual Studio Code editor. So we can see our all these files and folders here in our local directory. Same things we can see in our Visual Studio Code here. No need to open the Visual Studio Code manually. You just put the code here, Angular CLI command, and it will open the Visual Studio Code automatically. Yeah, here you can see our project is open using Visual Studio Code, that is Satya Angular CLI. It is the Angular project name and all the related contents here we can see using Visual Studio Code. Alright, so I'll do my presentation here. What is the next one is? So next one is, we can see there is several files in the project in Visual Studio Code, and there is so many files and folders, and we need to discuss every one step by step. Alright, so first one is package.json. so here we can see one file is package.json in our Angular project. So we need to know what is the work behind this Angular package.json. I just click this one. So this file contains the packages to build and run our application. It contains two sets of packages dependencies and dep dependencies. So the dependencies are essential for running the application. The dep dependencies are only required to develop the application. This package is installed into the node underscore modules folder by the node package manager, that is npm. So when npm installs commanded is executed, you can also add your own custom scripts here. So scripts property in package.json file contains the useful npm commands. So we can start and colon ng sharp. That means this means you can see here, this is all the commands here, right? So ng et ng serve and start. So we can just use full npm commands. So we have start ng serve. So this means when we execute npm start it executes ng serve, which builds and starts the server. Alright, so in addition, if you want to launch the browser and open the application, just change start ng serve to start ng serve -- open. Alright, so it is the recommended way to do that. And next one is node underscore modules. Alright, so we just go here, node underscore modules folder. So the package, it is the packages specified in the package.json files are installed into this folder. Then we run npm into this folder. When we run npm install command. This is the purpose behind node underscore modules folder. And the next one is e2e folder. So e2e, it contains end-to-end tests and their configuration files. And yeah, that's about the e2e folder. So next one is angular.json. So angular.json, this is the Angular CLI configuration files we already have discussed in our last video, that is angular.json. You can go through that. This is the part 5 of Angular CLI. Alright, so you can see the just content of that file in the angular.json file. Okay, so I just close this one. So next one is .editor config. So I just go to here, .editor config here. Yeah, here. So configuration file for Visual Studio Code, and the setting in this file let you certain code style guidelines. For example, what indent underscore style do you want? So you just give one spaces or tabs, and what should be the indent size, etc. So you can share this editor config file with other developers to maintain consistent coding styles. So to read more about editor configuration file, visit the URL, that is the, I just type here, it is showing here, that is the https://editorconfig.org. so you can go there. So for example, you can see there is one code style indent underscore style equal to you want space or tabs. You can, here it is by default space, and here you can give the tabs here. So and what should be the intent size. So by default it is true, and some like this, there is so many some code styles guidelines here. So this is the configuration file for Visual Studio Code. Okay, so we'll go to the next one. So next one is .git ignore. So .git ignore, this file is used for determine files and folders you want to check into source controls. For example, one of the folders we do not want to check into source control or dist folders, so which is auto generated when we build the application. So this folder is listed in this file. So all these files and folders listed in this file are ignored. So when a change set is checked into a source control. So this is the work purpose behind .git ignore. Alright, you can see this content here. That is, the compiled output is /dist slash temp slash out hyphen tsc, only existing if Bazel was run. So slash Bazel hyphen out dependencies slash node underscore modules, and you can see all these things here, right? So if you want to more details, you can go to this URL for ignoring more about the ignore files. So next one is karma conf.js. So you can see here one file is, so karma is the unit test runner for Angular application. As the name implies, karma.conf.js is the configuration file for karma. Alright, so we'll go to our next one. Next one is that is Protractor conf.js. So Protractor conf.js is an end-to-end test framework for Angular application. As the name implies, Protractor conf.js is the configuration file for Protractor. Alright, you can see this content here, and the by default base URL showing there's 4200, and the browser name is Chrome, and some specs path is mentioned here, some TS files, and all script timeout is by default 11,000. And the next one is readme.md file. So I'll go to the readme.md file. So this is a readme file which contains the commonly used Angular CLI commands out of the box. You may enhance this with your own project documentation so that anyone checking out the repository knows the commands to use to build, run, and test your apps. So you can see all this, some commonly used Angular CLI commands here. So development server, run ng-serve, and code scaffolding, build purpose ng build, for run unit test, run ng test, to execute the unit test via karma. And to know more about this, you can go to the URL, and running end-to-end test, run ng e2e to execute the end-to-end test via Protractor. And you can know about more on this, you can go to this URL, and for more help, you can, one command is ng help, and to go check out the Angular CLI readme file using this link, right? So this is the work purpose behind the readme.md file. So next one is tsconfig.json. So this one, so tsconfig.json, this is the TypeScript compiler configuration file. This file has several TypeScript compiler configuration settings. For example, to compile TypeScript to JavaScript or saving a TypeScript file, set compile on saving. This property is compile on save settings to true. If you don't want .map file to be generated, set source map to false. .map files are used to debugging your application. Alright, so here you can see that two properties, that is source map, right? Here you can see source map to true, and another one is compile on save. It is by default is false. To more about this, you can go to this URL. So there is so many settings there in this file, that is for a target and the import helpers, model resolutions, experimental decorators, the true. So this is the work purpose behind the tsconfig.json file. So next one is tslint.json. so here you can see, so tslint.json file is, here the Angular has a linting tool that checks our TypeScript code for programmatic and stylistic errors, as well as a non-adherence to coding standards and conventions. So tslint.json is the configuration file for linting. So here we discuss the settings in this file when we discuss linting in our next upcoming videos. Alright, so linting is nothing but you can get one sonar lint or sonar queue related cloud which will check your code standards and realistic finding the errors. So this is specially used for the .NET projects or in Visual Studio, and it is mapped to your GitHub repository integration. So here the same way Angular using the tslint.json file. So it is a tool that is checks our Typescript code for programming and stylistic errors. Alright, so you can see this content of that file, of this JSON file, right? Okay, now I'll flip to my presentation here. So this purpose of each and files and folders in Angular project: one is package.json, node underscore modules, end-to-end folders, angular.json, a.editor config, .git ignore, karma.conf.js, protractor.conf.js, readme.md file, tsconfig.json, tslint.json. So this is my YouTube channel. Subscribe and share it to get the up-to-date knowledge on .NET, .NET Core, SQL Server, MVC, C#, DevOps, Angular, and Azure. So in this video, what we have described today is the easiest way to create a working Angular project using command prompt as a administrator mode, and how to open the Angular project using code, and the purpose behind each and files and folders in Angular project. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.